Welcome, beloveds, to my channel. Welcome back if you've been here before. My name is Vivia. I'm a professional astrologer and tarot reader, and this is my channel, Your Soul as Well, where I'm currently mostly focused on card readings. And today is pick a card. For you, you have 3 piles. The first pile is the Mother Peace Tarot deck, which I used on Thursday for the All Signs read. It's a really wonderful deck. You can go to that reading here to see that reading. On the deck, I have this piece of copper. Copper is said to be ruled by Venus. It helps the body with inflammation. It is said to draw toxins from the body and helps balance personal reserve and confidence. It is a strong conductor of energy, helps combat passivity, restlessness, excitability, and non-acceptance of oneself. The second deck is the classic Rider-Waite-Smith deck, which you often see me using throughout my reads. This second pile here is the Rider-Waite-Smith deck. You often see me using throughout the reads I do. It has a faceted and multi-pointed cluster on it, quartz cluster. Can you see that? Are known to be the master healers, probably because they were the first substances to be described as crystals. They are said to amplify the energy of other stones if placed near them, helps to reveal truth. It's been used for divination and scrying. It amplifies and strengthens the whole aura. It cleanses and shifts, amongst other things. It helps also to motivation and energy. So this is the second pile. And the third pile is a deck I have yet to use with you, beloveds. It is the Circle of Life deck. So 2 circles flanking the Rider-Waite-Smith deck. And the third crystal is a rose quartz crystal. Very large rose quartz crystal. Be one of the most valued quartz varieties. It has a delicate pink tone. It fosters, it's very Venusian like the copper. It fosters love and it inspires feelings of love and friendship, fosters an appreciation of beauty, it helps us with our heart chakra, with emotional release, with forgiveness, with compassion. So rose quartz on the Circle of Life Tarot, faceted and pointed, tourmalined, complex, pointed, faceted, several points and terminals, natural quartz, and the copper. Those are the 3 choices, beloved. Shout out to Mariposa2002 for the kind reply to my last pick a card. Thank you for the great suggestion. I appreciate it. And there you are. There you are, beloved. Now, before we start, beloveds, I want you just to take a moment to relax, center ground. I'm going to start striking the tuning forks to clear the energy here in the room. I already saged some. I have some incense burning. Candles are lit. And as I strike the tuning forks and clear the space, center yourself, ground yourself, allow the tuning fork to bring your field back into coherence. That's one of the things. This is the tuning fork that I'm using. I'm using the 528 DNA repair fork. So as this Solfeggio frequency goes out, let it help you ground and bring your coherence back. Center yourself. Decide which card pile you want. And decide which question you wish to ask the cards. What question do you want to pose to the cards? And when you have that clear in your mind, you can skip to the mark of that deck, because I shall be putting that in the description box. All right. So we're going to move forward. We're going to start with pile number 1. We have pile number 1. Are you ready, beloved? Let's take this beautiful copper piece off. I'm going to be doing the Celtic cross spread for all of the lays today, all the spreads today. And the first card that we have is the World, almost completely reversed. The crossing card, I'm just going to put on top of it. It's the Five of Cups. The root card is the Eight of Wands. The past card is the World. The card above is the Daughter of Wands. The near future card is the Six of Swords, almost completely reversed. Next card is the Four of Discs. Then we have the Two of Cups, almost completely reversed. Then we have the Lovers, almost completely reversed. The final outcome card is the Devil, not quite upright. Right, those are our cards. Let's leave these to the side. Let's just start to interpret the cards. My experience with several different tarot decks and reading several different books and people's interpretation, pretty much the major arcana all have similar meanings, and definitely the Wheel of Fortune, as is the first card. So the Wheel of Fortune always implies that there's change about. Beloved, there's change happening here. You're in the midst of change, as is the first card of the Wheel of Fortune indicates. And something out of the usual is happening. It can feel like a twist of fate, because that's what the card, the Wheel of Fortune, is. The Wheel of Fortune implies there's a wheel, it churns, and you're on it, beloved. Trying to stop it doesn't make any sense. You can't stop it. It's like you're a kid on the merry-go-round that got spun too fast, and trying to get off it, you do more damage to yourself than just going with the flow and staying on the ride. This particular deck by Karen Vogel has a really great twist on the Wheel of Fortune. As you can see, it has the zodiac and the signs. And so we read the sign that is on the ascendant. And on the ascendant, because it was slightly to the left and reversed, I would say the sign here is and that is Virgo. So these cards have an extra twist to them. Wheel of Fortune in this deck has an extra twist. We read the sign on the ascendant, which is, as the card turned out, this sign here, and it's Virgo. So think in terms of the qualities of Virgo, which is precision and accuracy, and it's a mutable sign, so it wants to let go and release and change. Just like in the fall, all the deciduous trees drop their leaves and the plants start to go into hibernation for self-preservation for the winter. Think about these mutable qualities. Think about Virgo, pristineness of the archetype of Virgo, and the purity. And that's what we're going into this reading with. Those qualities, those Virgonian qualities of the archetype, all right, that's what we're going in. It's being crossed here, however, by the Five of Cups. That energy that we're coming into this reading with, that beautiful, pure Virgonian archetype, is crossed here by this Five of Cups, which indicates like holding on to your feelings, holding on to sadness or tears, not being able to let go. And that makes sense. It makes sense that there's change and there's grief involved, and hanging on, not being able to just yet really let go and let yourself dissolve into what is. So that's the setting. That's the stage that is set for this reading. The root here, move all these up a bit. The basis of this is this Eight of Wands. And this Eight of Wands has a lot of energy available to her. And you're coming from a place of having initiated quite a bit of change, having a lot of energy, having a lot of movement, being able to aim at a specific goal. She's an archer. Do you see her? I can't help but think of the Eight of Wands in the traditional decks. And I do think about the speed at which those wands fall to the earth, and that often it is involved with a relationship. So maybe this has a fast-moving relationship at its base. Just refer to your question and always defer to your own intuition. And here, beloved, whatever energy was here, whatever was put into motion very rapidly here, all that energy that you had to start something and put something into motion is the basis of this here, and it is changing, and it's changing whether you want it to change or not. Now we move into position which I consider the past position, which is the World. She's slightly tilted to the right. This is such a great card. I don't know. I love these cards so much. I think which means she wants this more than ever. That fulfillment and excitement is before her, and she's willing to go for it. And what this is telling me with this being positioned the way it is, beloved, it's telling me that you're ready to let go of this. You just want to be done with the past. You want to move on to a new life. And that's what's happening. The change is here. You want to move on but it's like the emotions need to catch up. That often happens. Often we intellectually get something. We know something is over. This has happened to me before in relationships, in different situations in my life where I knew it was over. I intellectually got it, but it took a while for my emotions to catch up and to be really fully ready, to be fully integrated. And so for you, beloved, that's what's showing here, that the situation has changed, the situation is different. You understand this on the mental level, but you're just waiting, like I said, for your emotions to catch up and for them to be fully integrated so that you can truly move on to your new life that is being displayed here by the Wheel of Fortune. So the message is coming in from your higher self. For me, it's always this position almost on any spread. I've learned this through and through. And on her spread, it talks about the sky. This is the position of the sky. So when it's the Daughter of Wands and she's almost upright, she's slightly to the left. She's almost upright. She's slightly to the left. Do you see her excitedly dancing? She's dancing with a unicorn. It's great. I love it. Upright is a lot of excitement and adventure and rushing forward, but yours is slightly to the left, beloved. And so your higher self is warning you, take things one step at a time. Don't rush. You have all the time in the universe. And just be cautious. You don't have to move forward too fast. That's the message that your higher self is bringing forth for you. We'll leave that right there. So the future tense card is the Six of Swords, almost completely reversed, but slightly to the left. So it's talking about clarity of your path, and that in the near future, it might not be so clear for you what's happening. You may not be as 100% sure of your vision or the things that are happening around you. And I sense that is why your higher self position card here, telling you just to take things cautiously, one step at a time. Don't rush into it. These two cards are connected here, and then they lead here. And this is the position of subconscious, your subconscious knowing, unconscious mind, and what it has to tell you, what's there for you, the messages that are there for you. So in this position, it's the Four of Discs, and you can see it's slightly to the left. The Four of Discs, it's an image of a woman who's, as you can see, she's standing at the doorway, ready to open or close the door. And behind her, a rock deflects the wind from the fire. So, when it's fully upright, which it almost is, this woman controls who comes in and who stays out and when. She needs peaceful time and nurturing space to be with herself. And perhaps she needs space to be creative. That you, beloved? Do you need some space to be creative? Do you need your alone time? And is it wonderful? Is your mind, your subconscious mind, telling you to be careful who you let in to your space, to your personal space? Now, it was slightly to the left, so it's just saying that you at this moment are unable to fully shut out all that presses on you to get into your life. So right now, dealing with this reading, whatever is here, it's still on your mind. And that's why it's still on your heart. And that's why it's hard to let it go, beloved. It's like what I said, like intellectually, you've gotten it. It's done. It's over. But emotionally, you just need some time to heal that in order to move on. Remember that this card was almost fully upright, though. It's like you're more than half done that battle of shutting out whatever it is there. Just keep going. You can do this. Now, the position of outside influences is the Two of Cups. Quite nice upright. Did you see this card? Look how cute that is. I love these cards. I love that blue. You cannot tell. It's one of my favorite colors. I use it on my altar. It's part of my brand. Upright, reverse rather. And it was reversed. So the card implies that you were unable to move towards somewhere. There's separation, right? There's feelings of disconnection and loneliness, some anxiety happening here. And what it reaffirms for me is what I had said, that perhaps you're dealing with a love relationship that hasn't gone the way that it was originally intended. Maybe it moved really fast in the beginning and now it's changing, it's shifting. That your heart is still healing from this. And there's a disconnection here with that person. And perhaps that person is the person that instigated the ending of the relationship and you're in agreement with it. But emotionally, it's still really tough. Perhaps that person was the person who initiated it. Perhaps it's you. What I see is that things have changed and that it's time to move on. And there's no going back now, beloved. Right? That's what I see here. In the position of hopes and fears here, we have the Lover's card, and it is reversed. Here's the card upright, but the card came up reversed and slightly to the left. So this one indicates that this relationship, what I was saying before, that there is like an ending, a breakdown in the relationships, conflicts, pain, separation, other issues, maybe power struggles even, and that there would be a lot of work to do to bring this relationship back together. And that's in the positions of hopes and fears. So it's exactly what probably was there already. Of course, everybody holds out the best intentions for their relationships, but it's showing that that was kind of there already. And it maybe was a fear from the beginning that the relationship would end or not go the way you wanted, beloved. And the final outcome card looks like it's a bad one, but actually it's kind of good. The final outcome card is the devil, but it wasn't upright. This is the card upright, but this is a card to the side. So the devil in all the tarot represents our habits, our addictions, our obsessions, the things that we allow to entrench us and enslave us. And with this deck, it's the way that this came out tells me that you're going to be able to separate yourself from this pain, and that when you come through it, you're going to resolve something inside of yourself. Maybe an issue, type of obsession that you had with this person, some type of a dependency issue. You're going to come through it really clear, beloved. And when it's to the left in this deck, it just talks about not being fully entrenched in a destructive cycle, power, whatever it was. Well, the archetype of the devil, think of your bad habits, think of any issues that you have that you allow to control you, addictions. Power isn't as rich, isn't just not as entrenched in you. It hasn't really taken force in you. And you're going to be able to release yourself from it. And that's the final outcome card. So what I see in these cards here for you, beloved, is that, like I said, something has changed. It has to do with a past love, I believe, or at least at the very least, something that you really, truly loved, being over and done, needing time to heal from it, to really fully recover. But when you do, you're going to get to this place here. And it's a place of like absolution, of releasing those tendencies, destructive tendencies for your own freedom, your own flight. It's a good process. I see this being a really good thing for you, beloved. It's a journey, certainly. I wish you the best in it. Leave me a comment if this resonates for you, or if this is happening in your life. I would love to hear from you. All right, thank you for choosing pile 1. I'm moving on now to pile 2. Blessings to you, pile 1 choosers. Here's pile number 2, everybody. Picking up the crystal, we can leave it right here. Do this one at a time. Right now in your life, you're not feeling overly confident. You're not in the position where you have a lot of energy right now. You're not in the position where you feel that you can succeed at whatever it is that you're attempting at this moment. But remember, beloved, that this too shall pass. Maybe you are feeling defeated by something or even overwhelmed. Let's just leave that there. And that's the second time we've gotten the Wheel of Fortune, and it's the second time that we've gotten it reversed. Changes in the air for beloveds, changes in the air. So the change has happened. It's already happened. It is what is crossing you. It's the crossing card. So it's a card of conflict. It's a card that's presenting a challenge to you. So there's movement here. And remember that oftentimes they seem very fated or destined to happen, like they're out of your control. That's what the Wheel of Fortune means. But when it's coming up reversed, it often indicates that you are resisting it. The person, the querent, subject at hand. So that's you, beloved. Don't resist it. Don't resist the change that's coming forth. There's powerful changes, lots of transmutation energy for all of the planet, for all the collective right now. And it's best, I believe, just to go with the flow and let the chips fall where they may, as the saying goes. Remember that even if the card is reversed and change is happening, you always have choice in how you react to situations. That power you keep within you. Just being able to accept the situation and adapt to it. There's opportunity there to gain value from that and new meaning. And although you might not want the change, it might lead through greater understanding of life and deeper self-knowledge. And that's something to keep in mind whenever we see the Wheel of Fortune. This is the root here. The foundation of this has to deal with breakdown of relationship. I think friends, maybe a friend circle has ended. Just a loss here. There's a loss of friendship, a loss of these celebratory times. Things are shifting. That's what I see happening here. Yes, with this card being the root. So maybe there's a friendship group that broke, failure, breakdown of relationship. not being supported. It's just upright. The card implies obviously lots of happiness and joy, celebration. But when it's reversed like this, it's showing disillusionment, dissatisfaction, unhappiness. So that's the root that you're coming into this with. So as the past position card, and it's dealing with insecurity. When the Queen is reversed, when the Queen of Pentacles comes up reversed, it speaks to us about being ungrounded, not trusting yourself, cutting yourself off to the earth, and that causes the ungroundedness, which also causes a weakness, psychic weakness, which all fuels this is perpetual fueling of being ungrounded, being disconnected from your senses, being disconnected from the earth. So this is the past that you're coming from. There might be some mistrust and being afraid, being nervous, especially maybe in these situations here, these public situations with maybe other women or in social settings, in friend groups. So when it comes up reversed, it suggests to obviously find a way to build up your confidence again. And it talks about, this particular card actually talks about accomplishments, which is tied into this card here, because when this card is upright, it talks about victory, being victorious, and it implies not whatever deed is before you, right? Whatever task, a victory. Now, that's your past. One of the remedies for this card to write it is to spend time in nature and work out your emotions, your ordinary pleasures and day-to-day activities and duties. As boring as that sounds. So it's the Hangman now in the position here of top of the cross, which to me is always connection with our soul and the information that we get from that essence of who we are. The Hangman has a lot of mystical attributes to it because it's part of coming out back into the world. This is what I see happening here with you, and with kind of a renewed sense of spirituality. That's actually one of its meanings. It's about a spiritual awakening, going through some drastic change, appearing very different to others. So that's connected here. And now I see a bigger picture of what happened here. Beloved, you probably went through a spiritual awakening, and it shows me that maybe your friend group wasn't on the same path as you, and you perhaps feel betrayed by them. Maybe there was drama, conflict, and things changed, but you have to be who you are, and you need to go on your path and do what's best for you, regardless of how others perceive you or see you. You must stand in this world as the Hangman does. You must stand in this world here as this Hangman does, which is different, opposite to what everybody else is doing. But that's showing you, but that's a very auspicious card to get. It's an auspicious card to get in this position, especially because that's the position to me that represents information coming in from your higher self. See this information coming in from the top, from your crown chakra into you, and it embodies you. So as you go through this spiritual awakening, as everybody else around you, if you do your work, you can stay calm and secure. The calm and secureness here of this Queen, as everybody else is frenzied. That's one of the benefits of it. You can stay grounded. It doesn't matter how you appear to everybody else. What matters is what is. Yes, it implies finding peace after a difficult trial. It implies finding that serenity and that calmness and that centeredness within, and understanding yourself, your true self, regardless of whether or not other people can see that or know you. It's a really wonderful card to have right there, beloved. Next card, future tense. Ooh, the Magician. It's a really nice card to get right there. Magic awaits you, beloved. The magic awaits you. It awaits you. You're going to use all your forces. You're going to be able to change your circumstances, harness your power, manifest what you want. That's what the future is showing. These two cards together are just amazing. Remember that the Magician means willpower. It's one of its most significant meanings, because as you can see, he's drawing one of his hands upward with his staff and one points down. And what he's indicating is, remember, the tarot is symbolic language that appeals to our subconscious. And what he indicates with this is that he receives power directly from source, and he draws it into himself and through himself into the earth, as he points down to the earth. And it's your awareness of this power, it's your own will and vitality that brings this into fruition, therefore brings all of your manifestations into the earth, into fruition. And so you need your will, you need your inspiration, and you need excitement. So you can use this. You can use this Magician as your personal symbol to create. So use your willpower to drive success, and it is to act through your direct strength and to intention, energy, where you want it to go. So that's coming up for you. You're going to come into this realization. It comes here after the Hanged Man. Now the next card is the Tower reversed, which makes sense because the world is spinning here. The Wheel of Fortune is spinning here. It's changing, and then the Tower is coming up. The Tower reversed isn't the crazy commotion and chaos and destruction of the Tower upright. The Tower reversed reminds you to not resist the change that is before you. Do not resist it, beloved. It's changing. There's nothing you can do to stop it. Trying to stop it, we talked about earlier already, it just would hurt you. Just let the change happen. Let it just happen. Let the Tower destruct. Make sure you walk away so that you're not hurt. Next card is the Four of Cups. Now, the Four of Cups is in the position of outside influences. So maybe there's somebody around you who thinks the first word that comes to mind in this reading is ungrateful. But when the Hangman comes up in a reading, and this is in position, remember, of outside influences, it's not your job to care about what other people think about you, beloved. It's your job to care about taking care of yourself, being on your spiritual path, removing yourself from unpleasant situations that cause this insecurity here. That's your job, is to take care of yourself. There's a saying, maybe you've heard it, what other people think of you is none of your business. And that implies to this card in this position. Of course, it's wonderful to have gratitude. And of course, it's wonderful to, not look past things. And this is what the card does imply. And perhaps in a different position, I would tell you and warn you of that. But what the cards are telling me is that take care of you first. You have to develop your own sense of self to come into your full spiritual mastery. And what other people think, especially if they're not on the same path and there's a breakdown in relationship that is causing this unhappiness here, then it doesn't matter what they think about you. It matters what you think about yourself. If you can carry yourself with dignity, if you can carry yourself with pride, if you can manifest what you want into your life and bring back this joy and happiness and sense of security and happiness of being grounded in this earth and being able to produce the life that you want. If you are acting responsibly and with that dignity and that self-respect, then the things that will fall into place and you have nobody to answer to. This is your life, not theirs. So the next card we have is the Ten of Pentacles, and it's reversed, but it's in the position of hopes and fears. You might have some fear here of whatever change this is affecting your status, your recognition, maybe even your material wealth. The Ten of Pentacles deals a lot with money, status, legacy. This is one of the cards that represents material abundance, being free of money problems, staying within established boundaries or guidelines. It's about tradition, legacy, as I said. Coming up reversed though. But when it's reversed, it's showing some type of blockage, but this blockage isn't real because this is the position of hopes and fears. So it's a fear that you have. You're afraid of taking this risk. But this card, when it's reversed, is urging caution and using skill, using your foresight, and maintaining your balance in terms of finances. Not taking risk right now when it comes to finances. Everything's going to work out all right, beloved. Remember that our fears, we need to honor and recognize our fears, but putting energy into them is what manifests. Remember that the magician is here, and he is asking you, what will you create? What will you put energy into? What will you bring into your reality? All right, let's look at the final outcome card. Let's see what this one is. It is the Moon. That's a beautiful card. The Moon is final outcome. Now, the Moon is final outcome card is a really great card. It actually goes really right in line here with the Hangman. That is indicating that you are going through this spiritual experience, this spiritual awakening to another level of who you are. You're on your own hero's journey. And the Moon as final outcome just tells me that you need to pay attention to your dreams, to your subconscious tendencies, and that you have a whole world within you. Tap into your deeper psyche, your unconscious ability to understand who you are, what you need, and what your path forward is. So pay attention to your dreams, pay attention to what comes out of your psyche, pay attention to the unconscious aspects of yourself. Try to make them conscious, try to bring them to the light, and see what drives you. The Moon is about mystic experience, spiritual reality. It's about using your imagination. It's about finding your way back on that path. Do you see that path that is in this card? It's finding your way back through that path. And you do it through your subconscious. You might be going into a time where you're having vivid dreams or visions. Time to use that imagination to your best. Make sure that you, really go into your unconscious. Take a look at that shadow self. Take a look at that brilliant self. And use this time to really bring forward your deepest imaginations, your wildest dreams about who you are. Pay attention to your dreams. Pay attention to what you really want. Write your dreams out, like dream journaling, but also what comes to mind right now is, what are your dreams? Like, do you have your dreams written out about what you want to create for your life, or what you wish to, I guess, like a bucket list? I don't like using that terminology. I don't know why. It's not my favorite. A list of things you wish to do in your life. Do you have that written? Because that's coming up right now. So this change is here. Moon speaks lots to faith. And when you go to bed, you can do your meditation and you can ask the divine to fill you with this faith if you feel you have lost it. The moon talks about being alert to subtle changes and to allow your intuitive powers to guide you, and that you know your answers. You might be developing psychically, which kind of mirrors this card here, the Hangman, right? Because the Hangman, if you recall, is on a spiritual journey and allows himself to be seen differently. And then in doing this, in appearing different, he goes through this transformation and he ends up piercing his own barrier of his limited consciousness. And in doing this, you can bring yourself to a higher wisdom. And that's what's being told here, that you're on this journey, and there might have been disruption here. There might have been breakdown of relationship here. But these cards tell a great, great outcome for you, beloved. I think it looks fantastic. I think there are exciting things ahead for you. So pay attention to your dreams, pay attention to your intuitions, start to develop them, start to see what kind of things present themselves to you. Yeah, leave me a comment. Let me know if this resonates. Let me know what kind of changes you're going through. May you be blessed. Thank you for choosing pile 2 and being here with me today. All right, beloveds, we are at pile number 3. Let's take the crystal off. Let's give it a good shuffle. All right. That's just the crossing, the root, the past, higher self. Gotta be kidding. Guys, that's the world card again. All 3 readings had the world card. All 3 readings had them upside down. Oh my gosh. Are you kidding me? Gotta be kidding me. Things are changing for us, people. Things are changing. Oh my gosh. It is. It's the world card. Holy cow. I am just kind of astonished right now. I mean, I said the world, but it's the wheel, not the world. The wheel. All 3 readings got the wheel of fortune. All 3 of them got it upside down. That's kind of crazy. Oh my God. Okay, so I'm moving on. Let's move on. Okay, that's our spread. But these were such bigger cards than the mother piece. Is that good? Can you see all of them? There you are, pile 3. There's your spread. Let's read it now. The first card, which is the situation, the atmosphere that you're in, is the 8 of Wands. All right, this is the card upright. Isn't that such a great card? It wasn't really upright. It was kind of, to me, that means really wanting to move forward with something. Maybe it's a love affair. Maybe it's, I'm just looking at the other cards here to see the greater context with this meeting. But this card, beloved, tells me that you are ready to begin something new, a new journey, a new relationship. You're really ready for it. It shows me that you're ready to go. You've never been so ready. Very eager, lots of energy. This is the Wands, lots of fire, lots of passion. So something's before you, something new is before you that you're ready to take action on. And the card implies that that's what you want to do right now. All right, and this is the crossing card. It is the 6 of Cups, but the 6 of Cups is reversed. The 6 of Cups, the mandala of mermen and seahorses, and they spin in the dark waters. They talk and they share food. It's a very communal, beautiful card. and the water brings them together. But this card came up slightly reversed for you, beloved. It's your crossing card. It's what is challenging you or preventing you right now going on this journey here, this new adventure, this new relationship. He needs to be more this way. This card is saying you need to wait patiently right now, even though you really want this. There are some emotions, some cycle of emotion that is just preventing you, and you need to take a different perspective right now. So maybe take some time to step back and realize life from a different point of view. Maybe try to process some emotions from your past or the emotions that are coming in. I feel like a flooding in of emotions from the relationship that you are in, the relationship that's coming. It's a cycle of emotions that ever turn and ever flow. That's what this card represents, the way that it is. It talks about getting together and sharing stories and telling the stories of our lives. So something is preventing you, but let's look deeper. So emotions, perhaps old emotions, stagnant emotions holding you back. Basis of this is here. It's rooted here in the Knight of Swords. And this Knight of Swords is on a horse that has to remain balanced before moving forward. But because it was reversed, it's indicating that there was not balance. Upright, the knight is calm. Upright, the knight makes plans. But because it was reversed, he loses his balance. He doesn't remain flexible. And this is connected here to these emotions. Willingness to move forward in a relationship, really wanting to move forward or taking a new relationship. Being stuck in old emotions, needing to process these old emotions. And this basis here is showing us that there was an imbalance in relationship, an imbalance in handling emotions. And that is the root of it. So we go here to the past as regarding this question. This past card here was to the right, so indicating forward motion in this area. So it's an angel holding a lamb, isn't it beautiful? And the 6 swords are in the ground. And the angel is guiding the lamb. This card is about no matter how long we journey, we must accept help. And it reminds me to pray as well. Does it remind you to pray, that angel? It's a rites of passage card, and it means to traverse difficult terrain. So it's here in the position of past, moving forward in the position of past. So it tells me that this past was difficult for you, and it was a rites of passage. You went through a difficult time, and that you also had benevolent help with you. This angel here, this protector, this guiding force was with you, beloved. So you were not alone. And you were kept safe on your journey through your conflict. And then we move here to the position at the top of the cross, which to me represents the information that we bring in through our higher self or our oversoul self. And that is the Wheel of Fortune again. So all three decks had this card. It's the Wheel of Fortune. All 3 decks have had this card. Can you believe it? I can't believe it's amazing. That means what this means, beloveds, is that we are on the threshold of amazing change. Amazing change is before us all. For all of the collective, that's the information that's coming through to me. For all the collective, for all of us, whether we all see these readings that I'm putting out today, I'm doing here, that I will put out for you, whether we see them or not, whether we know of them or not, that is what is happening. It's kind of crazy, actually. So here's the wheel. It's almost completely upside down, but not quite. So it tells me your soul, the soul of earth, the soul of the oversoul of humanity wants us to change. It wants us to move forward. This is the Wheel of Fortune in this Circle of Life deck. And it talks about cycles and that we're in a greater cycle. Be aware of the greater cycle, and that our understanding of it is mostly to adapt to it, try to gain greater meaning through it. But our job is really just to find our place within it and to adapt to whatever changes come. There are universal symbols throughout here. This obviously reminds us a lot of the Mother Peace deck. And yes, this deck takes from it. So lots of reminders here of the Mother Peace deck. The zodiac is in this deck as well. This constellations, the solar system. It reminds us that our lives unfold in cycles and that we are interconnected. The snake here is not eating his tail. He is holding it, and he implies that the whole design is being held together by a greater creative force of transformation. But let's remember that the universe is eternal, that we dance in and out of the wheel. And again, our job is to find our place there in the cycle, to understand it's changing. And this is the message coming in for all the collective, for all of humanity right now, that we are changing, beloved. We are moving on this wheel. And there really is no sense in trying to stop it. The wheel is so ready to move forward. Then we move to the future position card, which is the Knave of Swords moving to the right. The card is a person holding a goose who is protecting him from others, and there is behind him a bag of coins. It's a decision being made. The question is, does he hold on to the goose or risk losing it to grab the treasure? And the lesson is to see what really is valuable, to discern the truth and value, and to protect what is valuable. So that's coming in the future for you. As the card was turned this way, that means you will place great emphasis on value, the value of life, the value of your life, the new meaning in what life means, what it is for you. It will bring insight, and you'll learn about the world around you, and that it's always moving, which reinforces the world card, the movement of the world card here. Then we move here to what is the position of your deep unconscious state, and it is the card of Temperance. Beautiful, this card. This is an angel, benevolent being, mixing an elixir from two chalices. One foot you will notice is forward, and his face is focused on your task. So temperance always means balance, keeping balance, mixing disparate elements together. So bringing elements of your life together, whether this is the conscious or the unconscious, whether this is whatever that is to you, just different elements for you, and experiencing with that until you get it right, until you get the mixture, the elixir of life right. You are also always connected to the divine source. This card always implies that. And Temperance teaches us that it takes some experimentation with what we have to make lasting changes. This card talks about spiritual transformation, using the power of balance within and outside of you for this spiritual transformation. So not going to extremes. You don't need to go to extremes. You can take things in moderation. You can take things calmly and patiently. So this card is about moderation and taking care of your health. It does imply a renewed energy and vigor and healing if it's necessary. So one of the reinforcing cards is the World. Together they talk about integration, synthesis, and combination. And together with the healing, and given that this is the third read and the World card came up 3 times every read, it means that we are on the precipice of massive change, the whole world, the whole collective, and that we don't even see it before us right now. We can't even possibly see it before us right now. It was like this. I'm going to put it like that. The change is so great, so deep. It's so profound. It will affect every area of our lives. And we will look back with astonishment years to come to see the difference in your love, beloved, as well as in your life, beloved, as well as in the lives of the people around you and the whole world. This is the massive feeling that I'm getting from these readings. It's no wonder that all this week, all the cards of the sun and the moon coming together came up. The moon card, because the eclipse season, and it's today, and this is the feeling that I'm getting, this portal opening for this drastic but needed and very wanted change on our world. And these 2 cards together in the reading, one of the information coming in from on high into this unconscious state that we all have, is just talking about this massive change and this healing that is coming for the earth. These cards back. Let's give thanks for that. Let's give thanks right now for the healing for any that need it. In the position of outside influences, we have the 4 of Cups, almost upright, slightly to the left. And that's interesting because in the last reading, in the second pile, the Rider-Waite-Smith Deck, we also received the 4 Cups in the position of outside influences. What's interesting is in this deck, in the Wheel of Life deck that we're using right now, the 4 of Cups here isn't the same meaning as the 4 of Cups in a traditional deck. It almost looks more like the 5 of Cups with the cups spilt over. You can see that. But to stick to this reading, I'm just going to read to you the meaning this author of this deck intended, and we'll put it into perspective with the reading. The 4 of Cups. A figure counts the containers that have not been knocked over. 3 sit upright, while 1 has been knocked over and broken. Its contents spill out into the ground. The figure's feelings are being tested in this image. Does this person react to seeing the broken pot, or does she realize that she has still other options available to her? The strength of her emotions will prove which way she goes. The posture of the figure on the card also suggests that while she may be moved emotionally, she will take count of what she has before she allows the emotions to flow. this card seems to suggest that we must continue to look out and understand what we have rather than to worry about what is no longer available to us. So I suppose it does have the same meaning in a sense of the Four of Cups in the traditional decks, because the Four of Cups in the traditional decks implies to not take things for granted, not look past what is being given to you, see the opportunity, see the gift that's being given to you. And the meanings of this one is about contemplation, understanding your resources, and staying in the moment. So it was slightly to not quite upright. So it is implying that those things, stay in the moment, count your blessings, understand what you have, do not look past it. Don't look past here, the help you were given, the protection that you have, the spiritual guidance that you have, the spiritual guidance that all of us have, and what is really valuable. What is really valuable, beloved? That's the question being posed to you. What do you value? What do you honor? What energy do you want to keep put forth into your life? In the position of hopes and fears, we have the Devil card, and it's almost completely reversed, but more to the left than reversed. Here's the image. The Devil is about restrictions, addictions. But this one is meaningful to me. I'm going to read it to you, just like I read the last card. A horned man sits comfortably, his hands resting on his face. People weep and plead at his feet to be let go from their chains. Their requests fall on his deaf ears. People in this image desire release. They do not know that the person they're requesting freedom from may not be the one who can do the freeing. The horned figure seems bored and unswayed. The chains act as tethers to the people and their demon. The money falling from the hands of one person seems not to be the currency accepted in this world. The devil teaches us that we need to figure out the real cause of the chains in order to get them off. The meanings is learning to take care of yourself, not give away your power to others, and figuring out how to unchain yourself. Right. Typical meanings of the devil. We release ourselves from bondage, and that release is an internal thing, and understanding that we are actually sovereign, powerful, and that we hold our own authority. But when we give our authority away, we quickly lose sight of that. Now, as this reading applies to you, beloved, this is about understanding your natural power. It is a fear that you have, both hope and a fear, right? It's both a hope and a fear. That was the position it was in, telling me that you have a desire to release from this bondage that you're in, whatever that is. If it's an addiction, if it's a relationship, if it's limiting patterns, whatever is before you continues to cycle here, like the World card, whatever that is. This is your desire to break free. It's looking good. There's lots of promise and hope here. Remember to stay balanced. I want to put this card back into the perspective of before, because I see a pattern emerging here with my reading today, and that this reading is for the greater collective, the reading of the wheel turning, and maybe particularly this one, because this is how I feel collective. This is where we're stuck in. We're stuck in this fear, both this hope and this fear, this cycle of wanting to be released from the bondage that we're in, the bondage and the enslavement that humanity is in. Most people want better. We want the world to be, the airs to be clean, the waters to be clean. We want to leave the future earth for the future generations in a better state. There are horrific conditions happening on the earth right now, and one only needs to turn on their TV, turn on the news to see what's happening. I don't have to refer to those here right now. So these things are themes, right? These are themes. We have massive addiction on the planet, such unease, such unhappiness, illness, so much war still, people dying unnecessarily, innocent children, innocent people, older people, men, women, children, people of all ages that cannot defend themselves, that are still being harmed by war, by poverty, by inequality. And as this reading refers to the collective, this is where we are. We're stuck in this, we're currently here and feeling enslaved to these things, feeling that we cannot break free from them. It's in positions of hopes and fears. So the fear is there, but the hope is there as well. It's balanced, right? It's balanced, just like temperance shows here. The balance is here. So we both know that we're here, and we also dream of a time that we break free from it. And as far as these three readings went today, the World card came up. And like I've already mentioned, it's spinning, it's churning, and I really believe, are on our way out of this mess that we're in, out of this mess where people die unnecessarily, where there is huge inequality and people are not properly taken care of when they can be, when people can be fed, when there's so much food and we don't have to pollute our waters or our skies, and people can have remedy for illnesses. So that's what I see here, and I see for you a breaking free of chains, desire to do that. The information is here. And then I see being able to really acknowledge and accept and incorporate and integrate what is valuable to you moving forward. So the final outcome card is here. It is the Three of Swords. It's, I believe, a good outcome. It's the Three of Swords, but it's not upright. It's holding back. Can you see that? This card is about sheltering yourself, creating a boundary and creating a safe space for yourself so that you may feel protected and only allow in what is for your best in these times of change. Although you want to move forward here, this card is showing that. The 8 here, the very first card, the atmosphere, showing the position that you're in. This card of the Three of Swords is showing that not everybody around you has your best interest at heart. So keep that in mind as you move forward. Keep in mind that you have great change before you right now. Being prepared for great change and a change in consciousness and direction of your life. Do not take things for granted, to see what is around you. And this reading is asking you really to see the truth of the situation that you're in. See the truth. See the situation for what it is. Not wear rose-colored glasses. Do not try to pretend it's something that it's not. Do not believe that. Do not believe in fairy tales right now, beloved. It's not time for that. It's time for moderation. It's time to take care of your health. It's not time for extremes. Time to release addictions, old patterns that keep you stuck, these old emotions here. But this is a really nice reading. Things are changing for you. And make sure to call in your angels, guides. Make sure to call in your help here. Your protective forces will help you here in discerning who is for your best interest. Use these swords that are here throughout this reading. Help you cut through to that truth, to help you understand who it is that you can trust, who it is that you can let into your life. Temperance is here. And she wants you to remember, you have actually 2 angels here, and they're both showing up. They both want you to remember that you are divinely led, and you are divinely guided, and you are divinely protected. You as well have to understand that. You have to understand the etheric forces can only do so much. It's the responsibility of your life lies on your shoulders, and to take care in who it is that you allow in so that you can live your best life and move forward in this healthy, balanced way here that Temperance wants for you, beloved. Thank you, beloved, for choosing pile 3. I feel that this was a very profound reading. They each built upon one another. They all were great. They all were equally great. Seeing that world card 3 times in a row really impacted me. Like I said, very profoundly, very deeply. And the imagery that I received was actually imagery that I received earlier in the week too, because the world card came up when I used the Mother Peace Tarot on Thursday. I'll link it here for you if you'd like to watch it. And that's just what I had it was a download that I received, and it just sent shivers throughout my body. And I just knew in that reading that I wasn't just reading for whomever was watching that day or any day that would watch it in the future. That reading was for the collective, that we are on the brink of such massive change and that we cannot even comprehend how massive it is. So, beloved, thank you for joining me here, beloveds. I really appreciate it. I really appreciate your support and your love. If you like my work, please hit the like button. It helps a lot. It helps reach more people. It helps the algorithm understand that you like this content, and then it helps me to make more of it. Beloveds, thanks for being here with me today on this reading. Join me here on Your Soul as well every Saturday for your pick a card. Have a blessed and beautiful week.